Wall Street is a strange place. It's the only arena on Earth where a guy with a PhD in quantum physics and a guy who eats crayons can stand side by side, entirely united by their sheer lack of understanding of what's happening. Every morning, millions of people log on and risk their livelihoods inside a system that is wildly unpredictable. Staring directly into that level of financial chaos is terrifying. So, to handle the anxiety of risking their life savings, humans do what they always do. They invent formulas, rules, and elaborate strategies to convince themselves they have the upper hand. This desperation has splintered the market into hyper-specific subcultures. You have day traders drowning in a sea of 12 monitors, and guys in beige khakis lecturing people about intrinsic value at parties. But if you strip away the specialized jargon and the complex trading setups, you'll find that these 6 distinct investor personas share a common thread. They are all elaborate stories people tell themselves to create the illusion of control. Let's start with the traditionalists clinging to data and history. Meet the value investor. He treats Warren Buffett's annual letters like holy scripture and considers the intelligent investor light erotica. He will happily spend 400 hours analyzing a single company's 10K report, and he absolutely will not shut up about economic moats and compound growth. His financial strategy is the human equivalent of watching paint dry. But ask him about his year-to-date return, and he'll quickly pivot, telling you he actually invests for the long term. Translation: his portfolio has been aggressively underperforming since the Bush administration. If the value investor is the optimist of historical data, the doomsday shorter is his reflection. This guy looks at the exact same spreadsheets and uses them to predict imminent, catastrophic macroeconomic collapse. He paces around his apartment in socks all day, mumbling about synthetic CDOs and the fall of Western finance. To him, watching The Big Short was a spiritual awakening, and his living room is now heavily fortified with water jugs and canned beans. He has called 137 of the last 2 market crashes. He is perpetually short the market, short the economy, and completely out of hope. But he refuses to change tactics, convinced that the central banking system is rigged and the collapse is coming any day now. Ultimately, both of these groups suffer from the exact same condition. They desperately want to believe that if they just gather enough historical data and read enough balance sheets, they can accurately predict an unpredictable future. Moving away from the spreadsheets, we find a group that abandons data entirely for visual astrology, the technical analyst. This animated stock chart illustrates exactly how they view the market. Instead of looking at revenue, they stare at a sea of green and red candlesticks until the data points literally morph into shapes, like finding a bull flag hidden in the noise. They couldn't tell you what a company actually sells, because to them, corporate fundamentals are just for boomers stuck in the past. Ask a technical analyst about their strategy, and they will tell you that every candlestick tells a story. They don't idolize traditional investors. They see their multi-monitor setups as canvases, admiring Pablo Picasso over any hedge fund manager. But at its core, constantly drawing triangles and support lines across a stock chart is just another coping mechanism. It is a way to force a neat visual order onto an asset class that is inherently formless, random, and entirely indifferent to their drawings. Then there are those who abandon the pretense of analysis entirely, opting to cope through pure hype and tribalism. Take the hustle bro. He starts his morning with a cold plunge and calls himself an entrepreneur. But his diversified income streams consist entirely of sports betting, a Forex trading course, and a pending DUI. Or look at his digital cousin, the crypto bro. He lives in a van to stay off the grid and swears fiat currency is a scam, all while paying for groceries with his mom's Venmo. He spends 8 hours a day aggressively defending Web3, hoping no one realizes he has absolutely no idea how the blockchain actually works. And finally, we have the ultimate agent of chaos, the WallStreetBets gambler. He runs exclusively on Monster energy drinks and Hot Pockets, and he proudly refers to his massive, devastating trading losses as noble battle scars. His long-term plan for generational wealth is to dump his entire net worth into weekly options based on pure gut feeling, while worshiping guys like Roaring Kitty as literal saviors. If you look closely at this entire faction, you realize they aren't actually trying to beat the market at all. They've just outsourced their financial anxiety in exchange for the dopamine, adrenaline, and community of a massive multiplayer digital casino. So, what does the guy who spends 400 hours reading corporate balance sheets have in common with the guy drawing animal shapes on a stock chart and the guy trading pixelated NFTs from his van? This flowchart maps out their wildly different strategies, and as you can see, all these complex paths ultimately funnel straight into a giant question mark. No matter how dense the math or how loud the hype, none of these methodologies actually crack the code of the market. Watch how that question mark dissolves right into a completely unpredictable line graph. Because at the end of the day, these investing personas are less about securing guaranteed profits and more about deciding which outfit you want to wear while riding a roller coaster you have absolutely no control over. Whether you treat Warren Buffett's annual letters like holy text, or you're betting your rent money on a candlestick formation called the inverted frog, it all boils down to one simple, unifying reality on Wall Street. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. The market is a chaotic system that does not care about your charts, your historical spreadsheets, or your favorite meme coin. Once you accept that inherent chaos and drop the illusions of control, you can finally start investing in reality.